Thank you. Thank you, Senator Schwertner, for your work on the Sunset Commission, and to the members. The Sunset Advisory Committee is a ton of work in the interim, and I know you chaired or vice chaired this, and significant bills like the PUC bill that you just passed came through, and I think it was our good fortune that you chaired B&C and also had that. And on this particular issue, you and I talked briefly before you laid this out. I thought that you moved a bill out of here pretty clean. I know that there is definitely a desire to better the TJJD system, although I know that we're also challenged with youth offenders that commit felonies. And so I think it is that currently youth committed to one of the 5 state juvenile facilities have committed a felony, meaning either something like sexual assault, aggravated assault, murder, aggravated, those kinds of high bars. And I'm reading the report, looking at Section 26 of SB1727. It requires the Juvenile Justice Department to submit a regionalization plan to the Sunset Committee and standing legislative committees. And on page 29, in particular, in developing the plan, the department must consult with advisory council, juvenile probation departments, regional probation associations, advocacy groups, parents and guardians of children under the jurisdiction of the department. And then on page 31, the regionalization plan must include the process for downsizing, closing, or repurposing large state secure facilities to shift toward more regionally based juvenile justice system, which I do not disagree with, but at the time, TJJD has a wait list of 93 youth pending admission to a state-secured facility from 39 departments being held in 33 local juvenile detention centers, and the average wait time is 94 days. Now, I had a bill, Senate Bill 778, that went to Finance, and Senator Huffman actually gave me a hearing on that, and I greatly appreciate that. And part of that was saying to the state, if we're going to keep youth that have a felony that should be committed to TJJD. I mean, they have committed the most offensive of crimes, that the local taxpayers shouldn't be footing the bill while they wait to get a bed. And I think, Senator Huffman, I'm going to paraphrase what you said during that hearing, which was, we have to do better and the department has to do better. And so while there's a lot of good work in this particular bill, there are, and I represent the Giddings State School. It's a very large campus. And I know you've visited there. I've been there. I've been to graduations there, and spoken as their speaker in the past. And one of the things that I think over time, it's almost like we neglected it. I had a former worker from the Giddings State School stop me during this session. And he said, we used to really work on rehabbing these young men and women. And he says, it's just almost like, we're warehousing them now. And I know that I look at Dean Whitmire and his unbelievable efforts in trying to, not give up on these youth. So I want to say that I think, like Giddings is not an outlier because it's right in the middle of the triangle, and it's, not far from Houston, not far from Austin, and looking at, kind of how the triangle is growing. But I do want to express that our local departments, those county departments, those children are just sitting there. And I want to express that I'm going to follow this pretty closely, because I hear from whether it's our local sheriffs or our large counties, that rolls down to the county taxpayer. And I don't think that those youth are getting any better sitting in a local facility. So hopefully, I like what I see, but I also want to encourage us, like Senator Huffman said, when I said, I had that little bill that said, gosh, we should pay our counties back for this expenditure, that she encouraged TJJD to do better. So I look forward to working with you on this matter. And I just want to ask as a question, what do you view regional facilities, and can we get more beds for those that have committed the most heinous of crimes that really can't still be in our society because they may commit the same act on another innocent person? So what do you see, happening?
thank you for your comments and obviously your great interest in this. And I echo your comments regarding Chair Huffman and Chair Whitmire. Regionalization is an important concept, not dissimilar to foster care, community-based care, and the problems associated with facilities that we have currently in Texas and TJJD system. A lot of them have to do with having the workforce in those more disparate areas of Texas and being able to get the types of individuals that can restore and rehabilitate those youth offenders. And so what we did in the budget was enhance throughout the entire system, TJJD, both the county level, but also at the state level, with the addition of significant funds for new facilities that will hopefully be located in an area that has the workforce available. Now, that doesn't mean we should automatically close the other ones. We certainly have a wait list, as you said. But I think the attempt and the direction the state needs to take is toward a more regional approach over time, with the realization that there will be some youth offenders that, like you said, that have multiple felonies, unfortunately, sometimes a felony within the system, a second felony on top of a felony. So it is important that we do have state facilities. I do not advocate, nor do I believe it is correct that we shut and shutter the facilities at this time. But there should be a pathway, an approach, a thought that we should maybe look toward closure as we elevate our regional, our regional and county level facilities, and as these two new facilities come online.
I don't disagree with your thought of workforce. We're seeing that in the mental health beds. We had 700 beds offline that in our mental health hospitals, and some of those right here in Austin, Texas, some of those right there in San Antonio, Texas, and in urban centers as well, and finding a workforce that wants to go back to work and earn a living for their family. And, some of these are very tough jobs, and we should reward them accordingly. But I look forward to working with you. I know there's a lot of thought in redesigning this system and not, having the outlier. I think Dean Whitmire, you were a part of this, and certainly one of my staffers, Allison Brock, when the discovery of the just terribleness of something that was going on in a remote part of our state and how those children were being treated, and we acted accordingly. I was back in the House, so we've made some better decisions, but I look forward to working with you and other members in the Senate and the House to make sure that, again, we don't have 93 youth pending admission to state-secured facilities from 39 departments that are being held in 33 local juvenile detention centers, and that we're able to get them to the proper place, get the proper treatment. And again, this is, some of these children have committed acts of murder and other things that we have to keep them, we have to keep them safe, but we have to keep society safe as well. So thank you for your work. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Senator, for your comments and concerns.